What is up, everybody? What's going on? Hello to Marania. Hello to One Slake Dude. And hello, everybody who's watching live on Twitch as well as YouTube. Yes, we're predominantly a YouTube channel, but we're on Twitch as well at Geeky Puppet Show. And if you want to do so, you can help us out by going to ko-fi.com/puppeting. You can actually give us some money. Give us all your money, all your moolah.
Oh, I just got a notification. Apparently, we went live.
Okay, cool.
At least it was in the first 30 seconds and not first 30 minutes. Or it's
I'm glad that you got within the first 30 seconds. Now you can click off by the 30 seconds mark.
There you go.
See, like most people do. They're like, "Oh, this isn't a hot chick." Click off. If I grow my hair long enough, I might be one, right? If I grow my hair,
I don't want to go to that bar where you're considered a hot chick.
It's the one where Benjamin Franklin is cross-dressing.
I say besides that if I can't get hammered.
Can't get hammered. Well, that's the bad thing. Even if you get hammered, you just still don't want to get hammered in that kind of bar. Okay?
No, I said, I don't know that. I'm pretty sure even in my worst drinking days, you still weren't going to be pretty enough at closing time.
Only in a room full of blind people. Are you kidding me? In a room of Helen Kellers, they'll still go for the Helen Kellers. That's my love life.
All right.
Heck, I'd go for the Helen Kellers over me. All right, because I got 10 books this week. The number 10 for me this week is not a bad book, but it's the reason why it's at the bottom, because there are parts that I don't like, and there are parts I did like. We have basically here, we have Static Shock with Batman. Batman. Now, the reason why I'm giving this a really low score is not only because the art is kind of atrocious in here. It's not too bad, but you can tell who the characters are. But so basically in this story, they're going with the Static Shock, the retcon version from a couple years ago, where he got his powers at a Black Lives Matter protest. So that's heavily referenced in there. I'm like, oh, great. But it just seems like and then of course there's a kid who's protesting because he doesn't like, this whole book is about activism, which really just made me sick to my stomach. The beginning part was actually kind of cool action stuff. The Justice League Beyond getting together in space and testing out a new warp drive or ship that Virgil created with the help of Bruce Wayne's money and stuff, paid for it. That's why Batman's there. But then it immediately goes into like a protesting at the school and stuff. And of course, I thought they'd go with a little more mature here, Terry McGinnis. But they're saying that Virgil was only 20 years old, or 20 years ago. So he's basically 40 now. It was 20 years ago when he was doing all his Static Shock stuff. Now he's all a grown adult. And Terry McGinnis is in high school still. So the sliding time scale, I don't like that. Because you think about it, Static Shock should be a little bit older than Tim Drake. But the Terry McGinnis parts and stuff of that were okay, but it literally divulged into the protest stuff, and this kid's being bullied when he finds out his parents are tech people and they ignore him, and he's just looking for an outlet. That's why he's at the protests. And then we have all of this like about basically stuff about Static Shock, which I don't care because a lot of it's just more exposition dump that I don't need. Terry looks like he's about a 12-year-old girl. She looks like Dana, his ex-girlfriend. They have Max in here, of course, who actually looks good. Yeah, it's another word. It's a woke piece of crap book. So the best parts of this book is actually when Terry is actually fighting as Batman. They captured the actual cartoon series pretty well with his quips and everything. So that's probably the best part of this book. but it's really heavy with a lot of that information. So, but the cartoon series, I wouldn't say it's woke, but there were parts. I remember there were episodes where people were it disputes, and then Terry has to like go and try to save that kid because the kid was being bullied, whatever. There was stuff like that. In this case, a fight breaks out at the protest. The Jokers show up because the Jokers don't care about. They're all about chaos. They blow up this basically what an energy grid was supposed to come on and stuff, and it's supposed to help like in the future. Everything's run by like AI prompts, social media prompts, and this kid was like protest against social media or something like that, and because everybody dictates how people should live and what they should do, what's cool and popular, and he was against that because he was the anti-hipster or what we call it, the non-conformist kid. But anyway, one of the guys Joker fires a bazooka and it basically causes an explosion and knocks the kid and his name's Melvin, and he goes into the water, and that's how it ends. Like I said, it was the action parts were great with Batman Beyond. It felt like a Terry McGinnis, kind of like a Batman Beyond cartoon, but then you shoehorn this new woke Static Shock crap in there, and I just don't care for the book. It just ruined it. Not only that, the art is very mid. And then and I have to stare at Superman movie, that mid Superman movie on the back of here. I don't care about it.
Who wrote the book?
Oh, okay. So that was Evan Narcisse. Now that I should have took the hint, but then I'm just like Marani was reading bad Iron Man books because she just loves the character so much, but she was still reading it because she needed that fix. So this Evan Narcisse guy, this is the guy who wrote Batman Gotham Knights. The comic book, which was kind of, yeah, but like I said, it was not that great. And I said it's Will when Quintana does the art in here. Yeah,
Well, I guess I can understand why you would do that because there's so few Batman books out there. One comes out, you gotta grab it.
Yeah. It's a Batman Beyond character. That's other than Spider-Man. Batman Beyond is what I'll grab. I went for that. I sat through the Lansing Kelly crap because it was a new Batman Beyond stuff, and anything I just like looking at the art too. Sometimes when it starts getting really weird like this book, I kind of started droning out on the Static Shock part, and I just kind of like, hey, where's Terry now? Let's flip forward because it felt like two stories at this point. You had the beginning part in the future. And then you got this other story, and just it was just a big jarbled mess. And it sucks because Batman Beyond is so extremely popular with kids who grew up watching the cartoon series or in the comic books over the years. And what does DC do in the past month? Oh, and the Justice League Limited. Great, Terry's Batman Beyond. No, it's Tim, the one that no one wanted, the Tim version. So what do people do? They ignore that it's Tim. They just pretend it's Terry because that's what we have to go through in order to get a Batman Beyond comic book. Either it's shoehorned with a character that's been totally butchered, and just I'm just done kind of with this stuff. But I say that, but I'll go back because I like Batman Beyond. So I'm like, it's just so torn on this. I'll probably give the book. It's gonna be a mini series, I guarantee you. So it's an Elseworld book. So that's the one thing. It is Elseworlds. So Static Shock being woke, I consider that being Elseworld. I'll go with that. But yeah, I didn't like the timeline because everybody knows that Static Shock came out in the 90s. And Batman Beyond was supposed to be so far in the future where Batman was like in his 70s almost. Late 60s, early 70s, because he had a heart attack when he couldn't wear the suit anymore. So then all these years later. So I'm like, it just felt weird. But it was cool getting to see the Justice League Beyond. Yes, I am a glutton for Punisher. Let me put the comments on so you guys can actually see yourselves on the screen here. Thank you guys. There you go. Yeah, it just sucks though because It's a popular character. Both are popular characters. I would not say that Static Shock is a horrible character. It's just that they butchered the character persona. So they make him a woke activist. And it's not him. And here's the thing: he's not even the woke part in this book. It's the character of Melvin, because they're showing with more protests. There's a bully who's like, "Yeah, screw your stupid protests. I'm gonna beat you up." And it just felt like, and we get to hear that Terry's like, "They're just peaceful protesters," and I'm like, "Nope, done. Quit shoehorning activism into comic books. It's all they can do." It's like they saw that Stan Lee college, Spider-Man book and all, and they're like, "Oh, that'd be a great idea. Let's just make it all about that." No. But all right, number 9. Number 9 for me was actually a wholesome story. It's not meant to be a really compelling story, but as I said, it's a story you can read and move on. That is Supergirl, issue 7. It's their Thanksgiving thing. Once again, I don't care for Lena Luthor's look, but then again, I don't even like Lena Luthor. I've never liked the character. I love this cover though, because you have drooling Crypto over the thing. He's just staring at it, and then you have Streaky getting ready to have a bite. So basically in this book, Lena Luthor's antisocial, doesn't want to go to Thanksgiving. The other two are the girl on the top here. Lila is very protective over Supergirl. And Supergirl gets turned into a mermaid. Starts off. She grabs some Grano Kryptonite. This was the dumb part. But then again, I look at this being like a Silver Age thing. A lot of them, like a bomb hand things, they did something that you normally wouldn't do. But she's like, "Oh no, I tried to investigate this weird crystal, and now I've been turned into a mermaid. It must be kryptonite. But I've never seen turquoise kryptonite before. Where did it come from?" So then, because she can't breathe, because she has gills now, she has to go underwater. And there she runs into the shark lady, who basically, Princess Shark, I guess, was a Silver Age character.
I don't remember that character existing.
Yeah, she. I was looking up before, and yeah, she had a small appearance, but anyway, she says, and I'm the one to put it there, because she explains that this old sea witch basically wanted me to do this to bring you luring in, and she tells her story basically how she used to be a normal shark until she basically you find out that she bit this old leg off. And so she basically cursed the shark into becoming like a female kind of like a shark humanoid thing to do her bidding. And Supergirl now has to help her fight her fear from that curse. Meanwhile, we got Lila, who basically is with the Danvers, and they're having fun, kind of like just talking about things they want. She's like, she basically explained Thanksgiving, what it is. Yeah. Of course, then we show Superman shows up, and I'm like, man, who's the babe with them? I thought it was freaking what's her name? From Haley from Vampire Diaries. But turns out it's Lois Lane. He shows up at the Danvers as Superman with Lois Lane and are there. And Lila kind of gives him the third degree. And the whole entire time, at the point where she keeps making snippets about him and stuff and criticizing him. And so finally, it's the point where Lois says, "What the fuck's your problem?" And then Clark says, "It's like, hey, I understand. She's overprotective of Kara because Kara has not showed up yet. She's been missing. She hasn't checked in. And he says, like, I used to be this overprotective, so I understand the way she is. She doesn't mean it the way it comes across. And it's basically everybody's like looking for Supergirl. They go to Lena Luthor there, and this is the one. Okay, the cracks are starting to come in, Breen, in this book. She's like, oh, he's like, I wanted to ask you, why aren't you coming to? Didn't Karen not invite you? She's like, and Lena's like, yeah, she did, but I'm not going. And she's like, why not? One, Thanksgiving sucks, and then didn't Kara or her parents tell you about the real history of it? Colonialism, genocide, whitewashing.
That would have been my last issue.
It's coming from the girl with the shaved head.
Of course it is.
And
It's weird.
I love her response so loud. She's like, "I see. Don't really give a shit," you know. She's so Lena also said, my family is terrible. My dad is freaking Lex Luthor. I was raised by Brainiac. So Super made holidays and going changing that, you know. And Lila basically tells us like, well, yeah, but how can both presentations of this holiday be true then? You know, she's like, come on, Leslie, don't you know that? Her name's Lesla. Don't you know that better than anyone? Doesn't your science council like present their own version of the truth? And then the other girl shows up, Luna, and kind of like compliments her on her aura. Like, you seem happy, like, you know. And she's like, no, I'm grumpy, moody. Don't quit looking at my aura. It's just like very liberal, kind of mind warped, basic college girl being confronted by two people. Like, what the fuck, you know? But she's angry about it.
Lena isn't. Yeah, she's smarter than any college girl, and I would like to give, what's his name, the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah,
that it's just a character in the book that feels like that.
Yeah,
but I can't, because I don't think I don't think there's anybody left in mainstream comics that can do that without letting their own opinions.
But here's the thing, though. They make Lena to be like a jerk. You know, very antisocial jerk and stuff. So she comes off a villain in this. You know, yeah, she's be the smartest, but she's acting as stupid as, you know, and just idiotic.
And you know, that's cliched, and of course that's because I probably gave him too much credit at the beginning of the series.
Yeah.
Eventually, you know.
But I want to point out this book, though, this whole series, it's not like meaningful. And in the words, and not saying that, I'm not saying a negative light, but it's not like this is a series, this is Supergirl you're going to remember series you're going to remember for a while. No, it's just basically a laid back Supergirl's book. That's what it feels like to me.
Yeah, you're saying that Princess Shark is a new character.
Oh, are you sure? Okay, I thought she was existing.
No, I said, but if you know, I get the feeling that that Campbell really hates the holiday, because the left,
they probably do,
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, exactly, and that's why
because they've all bought into this colonialism, blah blah blah. Fuck off.
Because you can't be. Well, what was there was mention of Christopher Columbus in one of the Santa Claus things or presentations last year, or Frosty Snowman. They talk about Christopher Columbus. That was muted on the CBS airing of that movie. They censored that word because remember it was all about anti-Christopher Columbus. Yeah. But anyway, she ends up Supergirl cuts back to her going to the confronting the Sea Hag. And like I say, the art is still decent in this book. I like this. And we kind of like they fight a little bit, and then we get the story about how she basically, the shark was stupid, kicked on by her cave, and wanted to leave her alone. Finally, the shark basically bit her leg off, and then she cursed the shark, so it took on the form of a human being. And she's all I want is my leg back. She's like, really? Okay. So Supergirl uses her vision and sees that the leg actually turned into like a offspring baby inside her. So she reaches down, pulls it out because that's how babies are born, and gives it to Sea Hag, who's inside. Is like, oh, I'm sorry. I'll remove. Don't worry about your curse. You know. She's like, it's just better. He says like, you know, nope. The leg is just a hankling now. Going to grow up into a new revolting, abhorrent abomination, just like me. She's like, oh, that's lovely. And she says, you don't have to do my bidding anymore to Princess Shark Girl, you know, but that part of you being now this, you're fucked. Sorry. You know, we'll make peace here. And she says, like it says, the Supergirl, don't worry by nighttime, whatever, like, you know, as you'll return back to being human. But he said, you know. So like I said, it was not much of a slog, but at the end, Supergirl Kara gets back, and then she runs into Lena. And Lena's like, "Oh my gosh, Lena Manix is like," she's like, "Why is your enemy here?" She's like, "She's not our enemy. She was misunderstood. She's a friend." He's like, pretty much. So Lena basically has second thoughts about everything that she's said so far, pretty much. And they get this nice little thing here. When of course, you got Crypto again, who wants the bread, and guess we got a piece of food. Streaky did, and the little animals. So, and then, hey, I don't know who this other girl is here that's supposed to be here. I don't remember this. Is it Naomi? And I guess these are her friends from, like, Kara's friends, I guess, Journal.
Who knows?
And then Connor's there. And he's got an earring.
Yeah, he's always had an earring.
Yeah.
He had that in the 90s.
Yeah.
So he's hanging out with Lena.
All of them, yeah. He's there at the thing. They're all there at the Danvers Thanksgiving. Because they're having it at Supergirl's parents' place. So he showed up, and so did Connor.
So I'm wondering what issue Leslie Lar confesses her love for Kara. Because that's coming.
I hope not.
Oh, but you know it is.
I know.
Not saying it goes anywhere, but you know it's coming.
Yeah. Yeah, if you want that, though, immediately you can just get the Erica Henderson trash book right here.
Yeah, that's
the story you demanded, Breen.
Yeah,
Eisner Award-winning writer and artist Erica Henderson.
I'm pretty sure I was drunk when I demanded that.
There was a really cool thing in the back here. As a welcome to Metropolis, and they actually give you an updated map of Metropolis here and tells all the details to get the little thing. So I love that. Yep. And yeah, that's. Yeah, of course, I advertised for Night Fight, and then here's Deadpool, Batman, which no one cares about. I don't care about Grant Morrison. But you know who will care about? Chip Zdarsky. He's going to slob on that knob. He really loves Grant Morrison. That's why his Batman book was pretty much a love letter to Grant Morrison. Great.
We're on pace to turn this over to Jeff at about 11 o'clock tonight.
We are.
Oh, you boothead.
Yeah, cool.
Missed the 40-yard field goal. What's wrong with you?
Number 8, Armageddon. Vampirella Armageddon. And he's pretty much in hell still. This is Tom Sinofsky. So who's been writing basically since the 90s for Harris. Now he's with Dynamite. Continuing his ongoing Vampirella story he's been doing. So that's one of the cool things out there, Other than the only person I know that's been doing something like this is Larry Hama. But her and Kane have basically escaped the Hellworm stuff, and now they're going to the city. And along the way, he says like, I need pants. He's like, don't worry, something will happen. They come across these guys who are pulling like a wagon. It's like a station wagon thing in hell. And they think they're going to basically take them out. But then Vampira is like, really? Okay, well, we'll just kill them, take their clothes. And yeah, as they go into town, and she's it's basically continuing the story because last year there was a story, I think it was Vampirella Strikes. I forget which one it was. Where Vampirella basically released or sent these powerful it's called the Hellworm, which is a powerful like a weapon, and she sent it back to hell, so it's caused like a civil war in hell. Yeah, but hey, look, there's a Red Sonja book coming out, New Year's special. Dan Panasian, Billy Reyes, and 40-page one shot. So I probably won't pick it up though because I'm not. Dan Panasian his story wasn't that great. And Fire and Ice. Is there anyone like still who's a fan of the movie that's going and picking up the comics? I mean, I might pick it because it's written by Sarah Frazetta. That's the only thing that intrigues me about this. But otherwise, the Fire and Ice books have not been that great. At least they're entertaining, in my opinion. But so okay, Vampirella going to town. They get clothes. She walks through. She runs to a cat lady. Who basically is like, "Hey, my mistress wants to see you." I'm like, "Okay, I know what's going, cat lady, mistress. We're gonna get some more scissoring." Nope. We get a little like it kind of looks like the vampire chick, like from was that Resident Evil? What it was? But anyway, she's a seer, and she says, "Like, I see you. You have a great. We're basically you're gonna be needed." She touches Vampirella. Vampirella basically is reminded. She learns about Vampirella basically being the daughter of Lilith, and of course, within the goodness is also like all Lilith's hatred for mankind has also been quietly growing within Vampirella. She passed it on to her, and Vampirella has been all these years, all this stuff. She's been trying to keep her evil side, urges down. But hey, look, a Thundercats Christmas special. Wait, it's holiday special. Vampirella leaves, goes back, and it's out of there. Kane runs into some guys like, "Hey, that's my buddy's van. We're gonna kill you." And Kane decides he's had enough of this, and he uses the hellworm gun, and literally disintegrates them, all the monsters stuff. And she comes, and then the other guy who bought clothes from ends up going to this this angel who's only got one wing. His name is Lord Azarak. Is like, yeah, the hellworm thing is here, So we don't know who he is. We just know he's an angel. Yeah, I have a good microphone. Do you?
Well, apparently Maranya said it was 6.5, that belch. And I barely belched. But I was close to the microphone, I guess. So
you might have belched. I just ignored it.
Well, I said it's more the microphone than me.
Oh, but yeah, it ends up with them going into the area, and of course, meanwhile we have Vampirella's friends who basically said like, we're gonna go to hell to rescue Vampirella. This has actually been, for a while, this book was starting to get stagnant, but it's actually, I said, this has been picking up. It's getting more intriguing again. Now, would I say this, like, Tom Sinansky is as good as he was in Harris days? No, I can't honestly say that. But I would say that he's still decent enough, and it hasn't gone into any, like, hey, look at these people, peaceful protesters are protesting hell. Oh, they're being slaughtered by cops. No, there's none of that crap in here. It's not a Michael Straczynski book. All right. Number 7 is Spider-Man 94, issue number 3. Marlin, we get to learn more about him, his history, expanded on, and and how he basically is immortal. Kind of like the more this is J.D. Mateus. The more he writes about Marlin, and the more I see him, he's giving him the Nathaniel Essex treatment. Sinister. He was a guy who basically, like, he came from another world. He's immortal, and he found out that basically his job was to basically kill these immortals. But then he decided he wanted more exploration instead of being this king in this forgotten land. And he went and he fought against these totems, and he found out that, like, by killing these totems, basically these spiritual creatures that had the energy in them, it allowed him to prolong his life. So he became like an insane madman who basically now he's been hunting down and wants to kill Spider-Man because he's I'm not done yet. I can make this world great. I can build it back better. I just got to kill Spider-Man. But meanwhile, he's telling his whole story to Spider-Man. He's like, dude, you pretty much are crazy. You think in the name of noble goals, but it's like you're just a hack who believes his own shit. And then of course, Kane, seeing he wants to know why does his boss care so much about the spider? Then he has memories of Mary Jane, and he ends up going to see Mary Jane. But before that, Mary Jane has a heart-to-heart conversation with Aunt May, who basically says she's always kind of known that Peter, in this version, that Peter was Spider-Man. So how could you not know? The disappearances, him leaving through the window, coming in, the thoughts, it's like, she's like, well, why didn't you say anything? She's like, well, I didn't want to be a burden to him. So I just didn't say anything that I knew. Because he does. It's the last thing he needs is me knowing and having to worry about me, my heart, and all that stuff. She's like, it's better off he doesn't know. And she says, like, but you, Mary Jane, you do know, and she's like, it doesn't make a difference that to Peter. He's like, how he is. He'll take the whole world on his shoulders and ask to carry more. But it's hard, isn't it? Living with a secret, knowing you could lose it in any moment, wondering what he's doing is worth the risk and pain. And Mary Jane says, sometimes I wonder, but I love him so very much, and I think how difficult Peter's life, Spider-Man's life, would be without me, without us. And she said, and I love how Aunt May's like, well, he's always watching off the world. That's why the two of us got to be there for him. And of course, Peter breaks out of the cocoon, and he's going through the door and comes across this abomination creature, discovering that Moreland is basically creating his own twisted version of totems to try to keep, satisfy his hunger, like his life force, so he can live longer. And then look here, we get the advertisement for the final Spider-Man book here. The art in this book is pretty decent. I like it. So he ends up fighting against this creature, and he's already badly broken because Moreland beat him up. Took all his strength to get out of the cocoon, and now he's getting beat up. Kane goes to see Mary Jane, to his mask off. He's like, he's like, why am I feeling these things? Why do I love you? And she's kind of freaking out. Just as Peter's about to get his ass kicked by the monster, Kraven the Hunter shows up and kills the beast. And this is I love this. Yeah. I just love this version of him. He is this is what I wanted in the movie. I wanted this version. I wanted him I don't care about anything. I just want to hunt Spider-Man. And he's like, no one's going to kill you. Only I'm going to kill you. So it ends with that. The next one called The Heart of the Hunter is the next episode. And then, of course, they have the cartoon animated thing here, and then talking about the book. Some letter page. And then it's like, oh, look at this shit that's also too. It's like, X-Men is, every time I see a preview for anything X-Men book, I'm just wondering, like, man, Claremont's probably like, it's like, look what they did. They just ruined everything. But number 6 is the Blue Falcon and Dynamite by Jimmy Palmiotti. It was just a fun issue. And Marani is stuffing her face at a local Chinese restaurant today. She did. So we left off where basically the guy scientist he hired to basically create his special belt for the Blue Falcon, he ended up betraying him because he is being blackmailed. He goes to this woman who is revealed to be some beast woman, kind of like and of course, if you've been reading this, it's kind of obvious who she is. It's Bradley's new girlfriend, who's been so intimate with him, and she ends up learning that Bradley is, that he's basically Blue Falcon. So she rushes to the hospital, but first she ends up calling the guy. He's like, Cully, you screwed up. I need an update. He's like, well, boss, you're not going to believe it. I took out the Blue Falcon. Somehow he managed to give me the slip and tossed one of those grenade things at the city bus. And he went and saved everyone, and the things exploded on him. So now he's at the hospital. And he's like, is he dead? She's like, nope. And she's like, you idiot. It's like, I need that belt. But she realizes that she can't trust him again to get the belt, so she's going to go herself. And because, well, she's a girlfriend, she's going to use that to get in and sneak and see her boyfriend. In order to try and throw his the captor, the bad guys off, they're going to have the doctor here pose as Blue Falcon and have him see him leaving the hospital. That way, anybody who might be looking for the Blue Falcon, that he's injured, to try and take him out, he's not there. They're going to follow him. Here's one thing, though, that slipped through. And I'm like, oh, Jimmy. He's like, he's like, Dr. Vincent Maya, did you know this man saved my granddaughter at that school shooting in Westbrook? If it wasn't for him and his quick thinking, well, a lot of people in hell, the Secretary of City owes this man. I'm like, why are you bringing in school shootings and stuff into the book? Is that a common thing now in superhero worlds? School shootings? Yeah.
I don't know.
But I just found this felt out of the place for me. Maybe it's normal. I don't know. I don't read a lot of books. But he follows dressed up in the costume, gets in, and he leaves. The guy who was originally working for the Beast Woman, the villain, ends up calling some people, and they go in there, propose as doctors. They go in and try and kill Bradley. Bradley ends up having a moment. He's drugged up. He's in pain, and he's flirting with his ex, who is flirting heavily back with him. But then the villain girlfriend shows up, and of course, we see they're taking off their outfits now. They're going to change into their normal clothing. We got this old guard who's basically flirting with this younger woman. They're kind of flirting back and forth. And then we see the villains lined up. So this book is not your Hanna-Barbera book. It is a little bit violent. People do die. But we also get an alert here is that Dynamite is online and is going to come to save his buddy. And of course, you see him walking with the stilts, and he's talking to his AI program. But that's kind of cool. And yep, this is him again showing up, bust through, and he's taking out the bad guys in the hospital. Yeah.
Ron, I'm guessing that was when Dixon was writing it.
Yeah. Well, I trust Dixon writes something like that than Jimmy, but
absolutely. As I said, yeah.
So the villain ends up. Yeah. So she ends up getting hold of this belt, and then she leaves with the belt in the cab. At the end of this, let's just be continued. So it's a very fun thing. Although the robot Dynamite does kill, he took out a villain, fired 2 ballistic missiles at him that would just explode in the room and not go anywhere else. And the guy was splat. So
also, real quick, said, and why I actually do like Jimmy Palmiotti. He would tell me that I'm wrong about just about everything. But I don't think he would call me a Nazi while he does. I think he would afford me the courtesy of saying that my heart's in the right place. I'm just wrong about almost everything. Yeah. So I said it. I can respect somebody that I disagree with on everything, as long as you respect the person and not just go from 0 to Nazi.
Agree. Yeah.
So I said very rarely do I agree with Palmiotti, but I know he's. I'm absolutely 100% convinced.
I'm the complete opposite. I can't I disagree with you on the whole Jameson knowing that Peter Parker's Spider-Man. We can't get along.
Little less serious than what we're talking about here.
But yeah, I call you a boomer because it's you want things to change. No, I want it to stay the same.
Yep. Here's
why fix something that's not broken. But
the same reason why it's okay for Superman and Lois to be married now, because we had 65 years of it the other way.
Well, according to Marvel, they want Spidey to be the way he was before Mary Jane.
Well,
a guy with no love life
sucks though.
Yeah, you boomer. Thanks, Jackson.
Jackson, if I'm not mistaken, the cutoff is 64. I'm pretty sure you came in under that, so F off.
All right, number 5 this week. Batman Gotham by Gaslight, a League for Justice League. A League for Justice, yeah. So we left off, basically, they took down Zod. And Zod thinks he's, he should him break it free, but it turns out he's actually he's knocked out, and he's in a mental prison. And he's created by Martian Manhunter. So he thinks that he basically kills the Justice League here, takes him out, and stands conquered him. But turns out it's all on his head. John's been holding him there, and the League decides what they should do with him. And a lot of them were like, we kill him. There's no sense of keeping him alive. Wonder Woman wants to kill him. John Constantine like, dude, kill this guy. They say, are you kidding me? Superman's like, no, we're not gonna kill him. We're like, well, we're gonna boo him. He's like, we'll figure it a way. So at the last minute, of course, they're talking about, well, why don't we put him in like a Phantom Zone? That's when and they're like, well, no, we're not gonna, because Martian, we cannot open the Phantom Zone because that's where all these creatures will come through and stuff. We can't do that. It's too risky. And so Oliver, not Oliver Queen, but pretty much at this point, it's Oliver Queen as Green Lantern. Alan Scott, because I'm used to Alan Scott being Capricci, but this is like Oliver Queen mentality. And he says, like, this ring is giving me memories and my own memories, and basically says, like, we cannot let this guy live, otherwise we'll bring the end of the universe, And of course, he's like everything in me, my fiber screams. If Zod walks free, everything ends. Everything. And Superman's like, how can you know for sure? He's like, well, I don't know. But the ones who made this ring, they knew, they saw, they made our world a forbidden place because they're afraid of this, exactly this. And so Batman's like, you're saying there are other worlds behind Mars, inhabited worlds? He's like, well, my friend, you have no idea. And Constantine's like, all right, well, there's one easy solution. We chuck Zod in the Phantom Zone. And Martian Manhunter does not open the gate. And he's like, well, how about, we could do something, and one says we can't kill him. So we're just going to take him to basically where Themyscira. Themyscira is underground. It's where there's no sunlight. So they're going to keep him magically bound, chained, and deprived of sunlight. So he's just a normal human being. So they end up going to Scartaris, because that's where all the Amazons live, underground, in the last city. And as they go through, and Martian Manhunter talks about how it's getting harder and harder to contain this illusion. We need to keep going. They're approached by the Amazons, and they're giving an update. It's like, yeah, my Jenna's like, my whole team is done. They're dead. It's like, but sacrifice their lives. I'm like, but why are you bringing this man here? He's like, because it's our job. And she's like, don't worry about it. I'm going to talk to my mom. Diana, it's revealed to this after Diana basically talks to her mother, and basically her mother scolds her, and everybody says, how dare you bring this man here, and plus other men here too, mortals, from the surface dwellers, pretty much. And Diana's like, she's like, I'm not gonna kill him, I can't kill him. He was like, you gave me you told me, my conscience, follow my conscience says we don't kill him. And she's like, that's what I made you for. She's like, what? She's like, and literally they basically have a conversation private right away, and she explains how Diana's made out of clay. She's a beach baby. She was stand there, and she's meant for warrior, but she says, like, part of my essence went into you, and that's why you have this fiery will to test my patience, and question things. So they're gonna leave Zod there, as you see here, in the locked up, guarded by the Amazons. And he says, if they basically like, he wants to know, it's like, why? Because Clark doesn't want to leave him there. Clark is like, he's only one of my kind. He could tell me about my homeworld stuff. He's like, he would tell you to kneel to die. You know this. Against zealotry, can be no compromise. And I love how Green Lantern's like Alan Scott. So he's like, so that's so. Seems to me that you're doing right here, Martin, compromising. I thought you came here in the world to hunt some of the gun. He's like, my hunt is ended. And he had a greater threat endures. He's like, before they fled the surface world, the Amazons of the old destroyed the gates of the Phantom Zone. Yet, should a final hidden gate somehow remain, and should Lex Luthor have located, he's like, you're like, what's up with this? What's so bad about this Phantom Place anyway? He's like, oh, it's not the afterlife we're worried about. We're worried about the anti-life, because in the Phantom Zone leads to dark side. That's what they're revealing on the end of this book. And they also reveal that where Superman's ship, or his his life support thing vessel, it crashed in Alaska, not in Kansas. And of course, it's revealed that's why Lex Luthor bought all the chunk up Alaska, and there people are like, why would he buy Alaska? It's worthless. And then he ends up making his money back by getting all the gold, and because he wanted the Ark here. It's basically the Fortress of Solitude. And they go in there. Of course, the portal's been open, and Amsterdam's like, dude, we can't go in. He's like, dude, you can't go in. He's like, what broke your mind? What is your witness? What is awaiting us in the Phantom Zone? He's like, Darkseid is at the end, and I just love this. So they're bringing Darkseid into this story. I don't know if it's too early. I mean, they kind of went through Zod real quickly. Like, Darkseid might be a really trick challenge for them. This is only issue 5. I think that these go for 6 issues last time. The first one.
Yeah.
So the next one's going to be Gotham by Gaslight, Darkseid, maybe. So I only have one more issue left of this, and then it goes with the wait a while. But all right, number 3. Some people didn't like this. Well, those people can just go suck an egg. This is not a DCKO tie-in. I'm so thankful, because I don't want anything to do with DCKO storyline. To me, it's dumb. I'd rather just play a video game. If we're gonna make me play a bracket fight, I'll just do that. I'll just play Injustice. But
before you do that, can I just make a comment about the last review?
Sure.
The principal character is Batman, right? It's a Gotham by Gaslight story.
It's a league. It's a Justice League. Went from Batman to being the Justice League. Batman had an arc in there too. I just didn't like. He went over and was looking over his files, learning more about the Phantom Zone stuff. But yeah, it's mainly the League is the big thing.
Okay, because I would say, because if it was a Batman, if it was still Batman centric,
yeah,
and since he is immortal, Ra's al Ghul would have been a better choice than Darks. I'm so sick.
Well, Ra's al Ghul was already in here.
Was he?
Yeah, in the beginning of the Justice League thing. He was in the very beginning. His daughter Talia's working with them.
Okay, Ra's. I don't buy these anymore. So
I'm pretty sure Ra's was killed by Zod.
But I am so effing sick of Darkseid. It's like or create a new one for this.
Here's my thing. It's like Darkseid's been done to death, but again, I don't think Darkseid's been done right in a long time. I feel like he's just been kind of thrown in there as the big plot thing. That's it. This is a different. I'm hoping we're getting a different version of Darkseid. This being Elseworlds, can't be worse than having Darkseid having a thing for Wonder Woman.
No, I'd just rather see, but DC's villain, their Marvel's villains are infinitely better than DC's.
I still like Darkseid over Thanos. Now, that's okay. Other people like Thanos over Darkseid.
When I think of great Marvel villains, I don't even think of Thanos because
But that's the big thing now. All these people.
Marvel ever uses him because you have to use characters that now in the comics you have to use characters that may show up in the live action stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm sure Darkseid's a coming.
Yeah. So Lex Luthor is basically into the Phantom Zone in this one, and they did have Like for me, my favorite version of Darkseid was the animated series version. From the 2000s Justice League cartoon, but also from the Superman animated series. That because once Superman found out he this guy can actually take it, he finally someone I can go full power with. I don't have to worry about killing, you know. So I kind of like that, you know. It was like kind of cool. I'm not sure how he is in the comic books, if he was really reserved or he was just kind of like brooding like this, and you know, I will not fight. I don't know how many fighting comics he did versus Superman. You know, was there a lot, or was it just kind of like he's a menacing villain there, and then it takes a league to fight him? That's it, kind of like a Thanos thing. But I just know I just loved in the cartoon series, the animated series, he was able to go out and just basically punch Superman, and he's like, "Bitch, you made me bleed? No one's ever made me bleed." And he's like, and he started panicking because Superman was just kicking his ass. And then finally, towards the end, in the Justice League, because in the Superman animated series, Darkseid brainwashed Superman, just like he did in the Byrne version, and made him do horrible things. And he ended up killing I think it's Turnpike was the detective. I can't remember what his name was on it. And he felt guilty for that, and he's like, everybody hated him. So at the end of the Justice League Unlimited thing, you know, he comes across Darkseid, you know, and he just triggers him. He's like, he never got a chance to like, you know, really go after him, and now he's, you know, the Brainiac, and he just basically, he's like, they have to leave because if Superman says, like, if Clark says, if you stay, or Bruce tells Clark, if you stay here, you're gonna die. He's like, and he barely has to pull him out because he just literally just wants to basically kill Darkseid. At that point, he's so angered, you know. Turpin, that's what it was. Yeah, thank you. Or Turpin. But yeah, I said I don't know a lot about the comic versions of Darkseid. I've only seen the John Byrne one, the post-crisis. I guess he was in the Legends, not Legends, but well, he has a brief cameo.
He was Darkseid doesn't get physical often.
Yeah, that's
what he has.
That's why he's so evil. He doesn't get any action.
Right.
But I mean, I would love to see that, though. That's the thing. I want to see that. If they give me that in that Justice League or a Booker, I'll be happy for that. But yeah, I can see why a lot of people are sick of him, because he doesn't really do much. He's just kind of the evil there, unstoppable, and then.
No, it's the same reason you get certain characters just get overused. Marvel recycles the same. Anybody needs a big guy, it's the Rhino. It might be in 8 books in 1 month. Darkseid is like the go-to, because to me it just lacks an imagination.
I can understand that. Spider-Man for me was getting that way at the point before they did the whole Brand New Day and stuff. I was like, he could take all his villains with ease. He really didn't have a challenge.
We're talking about 2 different things.
But
I'm just tired of people using Darkseid. Have the imagination to come up with a different villain once in a while.
Well, at this point, if it's not Darkseid in Superman, it's Doomsday. And yeah, I don't know if they create a new villain. They tried to. I think it was Josh Williamson with that Howard Stern looking dude, freaky guy, with the long fingers, pixel fingers. But yeah, it's. I honestly, if I can get a comic book where he gets physical with Darkseid and not in the Olivia Newton sense, in the John sense, but in the sense where they're punching each other, rock'em sock'em. I want that. That's cool to me. But I understand it's like I want to say, like, I know when people say, like, oh, they hate Harley Quinn because she's everywhere and this blah blah blah, and now they hate Deadpool because he's everywhere, and now people are hating Darkseid because he's everywhere now. Like, it's like Wolverine, the Wolverine effect. He's in every book. But I don't know. He just gives you with one look. Jackson. But anyway, though, I said I'm just happy because it's gonna be Darkseid and a version I've never seen of him before, and it's gonna be like a old timey thing. I don't know. This might be a totally different Darkseid. Now, if they do the copy paste like we've seen before, yeah, I'll agree with you. And it's just like, this is kind of dumb. But my number 4 for this week is Aquaman, the Spectre of Darkseid. Because that's what we're doing right now in DC Universe. Darkseid's coming back to life. They're doing a DKO thing. We're in this book, and this is where it pissed off a lot of people at League Comic Geeks because, Mara's in this book for like a few seconds, and then she's gone. Boo! We hate Aquaman. We just want Mara. And I'm thinking, like, oh, shut up. It's like, she basically, with the help of Garth, she's able to go back the portal back to her original world. And when she goes there in her original world, we'll get to that. But first, we have OP'd Aquaman, who is basically can hear anything at a pin of a drop in the water in the ocean. Thanks to the blue, because he's now the avatar of the blue. I think Swamp Thing's the avatar of the green, and I think Beast Blade might be the avatar of the red. I know he was in the New 52. I'm not sure if he still is now. So I'm not sure where that's going with the avatars. But basically, parademons are attacking people on a cruise ship. You know, we get this fat guy. He makes a joke about, he's like, don't worry, sir. You're not going to be a snack for them. You know, they said you're part of the all-you-can-eat buffet. We get him teaming up with his daughter. And then, of course, we get the Lady of the Lake, Arian. And we also have Lorelei, I think his name was. I think that was the one that was the mermaid, the one that Clark liked. She's part of the team. And we also have it goes back to basically, as we're doing that, we get a little, I love this little quote here. It's like from a buddy here, Zan. And it's not zooming in, but he says, "Hey gang, don't worry, the super friends are here." And the two villains basically knock each other out. So I like the little nod to the super friends thing because he was part of the team. Meanwhile, in Zebo, basically Mara comes there and she goes to her place, and it's just like, it looks horrible. It's abandoned. There's no one there. The city is basically in ruins. She comes across her ex-betrothed. I don't know if this was a guy who was originally in the series when they introduced her, but he's like, he's like, "Oh, look, welcome home, beloved. I nearest am glad you returned to what is left of Zebel." Basically, so then we find out Aquaman learns that they're trying to terraform Earth by creating the endless furnace, the explosions and stuff. And he basically gets so angry after, because they're taking too long, he decides to let loose, and he goes like super crazy and just makes everyone, kills all of them. He just guts them, puts them into like a whirlpool, and I love, and then of course his daughter, she's like, "Dude, awesome!" And of course, the other ones are not so happy. It's just like, she's like, Lorelei's like, "A little much, King." He's like, it's like, "Yeah, maybe a little bit, but we don't have time." So this book takes place before the actual Geeksy KO event. So a lot of people were online were pissed because, well, this has nothing to do with that. And I'm thinking, like, good. A lot of us don't want our books being interrupted by an event that we don't want to read. But of course, a lot of companies force you to read the events, and like, or drop the book until it's over. So I was glad I was able to keep reading Aquaman, because I don't want to care about the DC kind of KO thing. All right. What other comments weren't posting? What were you, I had, the last one I had for you before that, it says, "I think both Darkseid and Thanos have massively been overused." That was around 8 minutes ago. I got thumbs up. Been there, done that. Sounds like you're getting ready for a colonoscopy, Maranya. So, yeah, what were you trying to type in? Because I don't have like if it's like a I don't if it's like a derogatory word, maybe. If you're putting the word gay in there, that might not be showing up for obvious reasons, because YouTube. I don't like you saying those words. Unless you are that word. All right. Number 3 for this week, Breen, is Redcoat. Probably the shortest Redcoat book I've ever read. Very change of pace for Redcoat. Redcoat, he's settled down. He's no longer a venture. This takes place in 1909, and he pretty much is working as a seamstress or working, and not a seamstress, but basically like a patcher. He's called by the name Simon Plum, and yeah, it's actually 1909. And it just starts with him. Casey is working a day's living and working, and then he comes and he's basically kind to everybody, and he quit drinking, and he comes home, and he's basically bombarded by his daughter, and we learn that he has a son and a wife. So, and you're like, it's a nice little happy moment for him, because this guy literally he's immortal. And I'm thinking, like, in the back of my mind, oh, what's going to happen with him? Because he's immortal now. He's going to have to watch his family die. And, of course, he still has the book, The Mysteries and the Myths of the American Founding Fathers, the Magic Spell book. And he's still looking for a way to undo this immortality curse, so he can basically be and live with his children and watch him grow old and grow old as his wife. And, of course, who shows up the door? Knock, knock. Albert Einstein. It's a nice moment for him. Albert learns that basically that he now has a family. He invites him in, and catching up. And he's like, oh, he teases them about the mustache. He goes, what's with the mustache? And then we learn, he's like, dude, it's like, okay, he's like, enough about this. What's basically going on? Why are you here? And he says, well, he's back. Benedict Arnold is back. We thought Benedict Arnold was dead, because an immortal, if they, according to the source, the magic book, if they leave America, where their immortality was there, they basically ended up can die. And so kind of cool he's back, and it looks like we're gonna get a nice Christmas issue. So looking forward to this. It's just wholesome, but I worry about what's gonna happen next with him. After that, we also get Dolly Madison kind of bio here too. The character stuff for Ghost Machine in the back. So if you want to sign up for Ghost Machine newsletter, and you can get discounts on sketches from all, click on the go on the URC code. I wouldn't do it now if you're watching on the phone or watching or later, because that might hurt. I put in that Doomsday should have been left dead and not resurrected. So I guess I need to start watching on Twitch instead of YouTube. Huh. Okay. I don't have anything sensors like that in there, or any listed words really. I think the only word the word I have listed probably muted in there is probably Comicsgate, because I just don't want to hear about it. If you want to hear about that, go to Hello Comics, the OG. But so I like this cover. It's a wraparound. No. Looking for that, and then the back here, he's like, there's nothing back here either. Nice little wraparound cover. Very fun book this year. It's a lot of my books, it's a lot of them are indies, because the indies have just been the best books of the year. Ongoing. Number 2 is Dick Tracy. Dick Tracy has been fun too as well. We have issue number 13 here. Dick Tracy ends up going to Germany and in Thessaloniki trying to find this German Nazi spy who killed his best friend in the war. And as he's going, he's looking for the guy. All of a sudden they started getting chased in alleyway, and he starts having flashbacks to the war. And basically, he's basically being triggered. He's got PTSD. He's remembering everything. He's bringing all the bad memories of him losing his platoon and stuff. And he ends up ditching his yellow coat, taking it off, throwing it in the ground, and then runs away. I wondered why he did that, but I'm thinking, well, maybe he's thinking because he won't blend in. He'll be able to blend in then. Won't stick out as a third thumb. Meanwhile, there's a cop back in where he's from that's trying to find the sisters. What is her name? Summer Sisters, yeah. So he ends up running on this guy named Shaky, who ends up spilling the beans. There's going to be a armed robbery at the dark. You are here, but you're not in the backstage of StreamYard. What's up, Geek? And he says, basically, they go to the bar for information. They talk to this guy, and he's eventually, after they talk to him, they end up getting information where the guy lives. The guy says, this Nazis after the war, this Nazi scum has been hiding in the sewers, so you'll find him there. And of course, yeah. The link I put inside and Twitter. And Twitter now is messed up. So I mean, I could try sending the link again. And if you're but Breen said he had to go through some hoops and ladders just to get it. So but yeah, so the Summer Sisters are confronted by the cop who thinks he's gonna try and take the score down. And of course, one of the Summer Sisters gets getting hits, and so they decide to cut their losses. They're gonna leave, and it turns out they're working for some big guy named Eyebrows or Brows, whatever. And cop goes in there the ship, and he finds out that the ship has Nazi gold, just tons and tons of Nazi gold that they're smuggling in. And of course, Casey or Tracy is down there. They come across the German spy, the former Nazi, and they talk to him, only for him to be shot by somebody. Well, and then of course, this flash of PTSD for Dick Tracy, and then of course it's revealed who the big bad villain is, who they're working for while they're doing the Summer Sisters are doing these robberies, and the name is Brow is the name of the guy. And then I think that's supposed to be the Peter Lorre character in the movie. Not sure. But yeah, that's the guy who was on the main cover, though. This is the cover B. All right. And then, final book of the night. Yeah. Yeah, I sent you the link. It's in there. Maybe it doesn't show up. I know. I mean, it shows on my phone and phone, and also on browser too. For me, but you probably, I don't know if you have to create a passcode like Breen did. So nothing I can do about until you have to do that. All right, number 1 book of the week for me is Batman Dark Patterns. This is a fun book. Sadly, it is the finale. Dan Waters deserves a better shot at. Well, he's. I want him writing more. This is
Josh and Drew let off their show praising this tonight.
This is my number one book of the week. It is just phenomenal. I don't understand why. I mean, I do understand, because they better have Matt Fraction hating on cops. They better have a guy hating on the cops in the absolute Batman. You know, I will give Scott Snyder the benefit of doubt. You know, I don't know if he's going to put it in the main book, but that annual by Daniel Warren Johnson was absolute bullshit and garbage.
Scott Snyder will do. You want to hear what my comment on this was?
Yeah.
Said Dan Waters should be writing the regular Batman title, and Matt Fraction should be protesting something in his hometown.
Yeah, isn't it when he's married to Kelly Sue DeConnick?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they all live in Portland. They're part of the Portland mafia that should be on their way back to Marvel now that Bendis is back.
Is Bendis back on Marvel?
Yes, sir. Full time. Starting with the annual, but he's back full time in 26.
For Spider-Man?
Oh. They haven't announced yet. But...
Yeah. Like I said, it's this. Like I said, I love Dan Waters. Dan Waters has been writing a 12-issue series here. At first I thought it was ongoing, but I love how this issue just kind of wraps up, brings everything. Send the link again, please. But I like how he basically wrapped up everything and put it back in the... There you go. All right. That's it. If you can't get the link now, that's... I don't know what to tell you, man. So, everything wraps up here. The ongoing subplot, and it all connects into this, because the main villain, who's also been attached to everything that's going on, Nikki Harris... What's up?
Until you create the passcode, you can't get the link, so that's probably why you didn't see it before. I'm guessing since created his passcode, and then it shows up. But like you said, instead of being like the thumbnail or anything like that, it's just the StreamYard blah blah blah.
Yeah, it says
yeah. So that's
yeah. I still use Discord. I know, and not everybody. I know you have personal issues with Discord and stuff. But
it should have shown up though after he did that, because you didn't have to send me another one.
No,
maybe I'm just smarter than Jeff.
Maybe. I don't know, but anyway, okay. So basically, the final issue: Batman's racing to stop this guy. Is basically gonna bring back he's going to recreate the fire that happened in Gotham many years ago, the Great Fire. He believes that by doing this, he'll cleanse all the filth, disgusting thing out of in there, and then the ashes. He'll be able to basically, rise anew and have a new city and stuff. Doesn't worry about anything. So he's basically he's finding all these fire bombs around this whole entire Gotham area that will continue the fire. It started in the financial district. He's got the doctor in there, and he's like, Dad, Dr. Sarika. It's like, you're comfortable just as I am. It's like, we got the same suit. Don't worry, just breathe. It's just that only one of us won't survive the fire here. And of course, so I think he says Sarika is Cardi starting coffee. He's like, oh, yeah, I guess you're gonna go first, and he's on fire like Ghost Rider. The art in this series, like I said, was not the best art, but I thought it was the best creative art to do the storytelling. And I love the layout here. You start on the left, and then you work, and then you go to the diamond, and then you go down, from up, down on the right side. It's kind of creative. I like it. And of course, he keeps seeing like a shadow of the bat. He's like, thing I love about fire, it puts this alert in our system. Basically, we need to flee danger. And looking now, it's playing tricks on me. So he's like, it lights up our lizard brain like nothing else, and cuts right to the core of us. It's telling us to flee. It plays tricks on us, makes us see things that aren't there. And he says, the Batman's gone, Sarika. No one's coming, because Batman had previously been shot by the Red Hood gang, or what was guy who wanted to be Red Hood gang member. So he's been missing, and even Gordon couldn't get a hold of him for all these weeks because he was recuperating at home. And so when he learned of what's going on about the Great Fire stuff, he's out there against Alfred's basically wishes, and he's out there on the rooftops trying to get there. And it is just phenomenal part. The only thing I would suggest is get the stupid JSA out of the middle of the book. Or it's like having an average commercial in the middle of a movie. Right, the best part. Because he talks about how tonight's gonna be a firestorm, and he's like, oh yeah, I'm the greatest villain ever, and I'm gonna do all this, and then his hands grabbed, crunch, because he thought that wasn't Batman saying the whole entire time. It was Batman, and we get the best yellow cowl or a little chest plate there. He's like, I just love this, and then Batman just noticed like, yeah, this guy's a lunatic psychopath, but he's not a trained fighter. So he just basically beats the shit out of him. Knocks him out. He's like, you might have gotten away with it, but you took it too far, Nicky. Turned it all into a sensationalist headline. Put your byline on it. He's like, how are you here? How are you standing here? He's like, Nicky Harris isn't trained in combat at all. Even with a fever in my bones, even with smoke in my lungs, it was never going to be a fair fight. And he basically just takes him down. And then, of course, the whole building starts to fall apart. He brings him out there, tells Gordon and the doctor, and says to Gordon, it's like, he's trying to do the whole firestorm here. And it's like, and he's like, you got to tell him, But meanwhile, Gordon, before we get to Gordon though, they had Firefly in the back of a squad car. Because of course they have to do, because Firefly has basically been a key component in this story here. And a bomb basically erupted, or a pipe, whatever, on the road, and it caused the truck to knock over. And he says, "Don't worry about Gordon. Like, I'm not going to kill you." He says, he says, "I would never take that choice from the fire. Farewell, Commissioner. Thanks for the flame." Batman leaps through, and he basically goes from building to building. Get this really cool art here. I love this kind of stuff. Yeah. I did maybe have a message that says link in the message above. I did that. Like I said, that's on Twitter's on. I sent you the message with the thing. I can even show you. It's right there. Super link. So that's I did everything I can, man. Getting back to the review here. So as Batman's going through, and he reveals, it's like they talk to Gordon, and he says those witnesses are suffering from the same hysteria when they gave the statements they did, but and Gordon's like, well, but they said he said, I was disarming Harris's bombs, nothing more, because they said how they saw Batman like pull his hand out and the flame stopped. Yeah.
Jeff, do you have a 4-digit passcode yet?
Did they ask you to create one? Yeah. But yeah. Like I said, I like this. Basically, Batman's. This is the witness saw. They saw Batman in the flames hold his hand out, and the flames stopped. It's almost like he had magical powers. And he's like, and the ending is I'll leave for you guys to read, but I'll just say this. So he says don't worry about Nicky Harris getting away, because, well, let's just say a Firefly out there and Nicky Harris out there fleeing for his life, he's gonna get what's coming to him. And they'll get him out, And it ends with Batman just basically, there will be no fire tonight in Gotham City. A fire can destroy it or it can protect it. It will blaze, sculpting the city the way it has. It has been a little wild of late, but that's because it's been adapting, taking it on a new form, accepting the new shape. There will be a fire. There will be a fire tonight in Gotham City. There always has been. And that's basically him just jumping down. So,
Jeff, have you tried just clicking on the message? Because you don't get the thumbnails anymore. You just get a little line that says StreamYard, like a message bar.
Yeah. I can send you the link again, like I said, but if you can't get on there, you can't get on there.
Try one more time, see if it's.
I will.
So maybe
if he knows what it is. All right. Sent to him. So it's right above the new comment. So there it is.
I want to say a whole bunch of filthy things right now, but I don't want to get you demonetized.
You just being here, we're already demonetized.
That's the same thing I said when I came on, and I didn't have trouble, but I was still annoyed.
Yeah. But I can only just send the link. I
saw the thing that said link above, and I was looking at it. And so it's just, I'm like, yeah, whatever, dude. It's you. I saw that you sent it, but it just wasn't there, and it was saying messages not loading and all that stuff.
Yeah, there's nothing I can do, man. Like I said, that's between you and Twitter, man. Like I can only send the link out, and it's like, what do you want to do? I really don't want to post it in the StreamYard and then have anybody just jumps on.
Well,
not that I don't love the people currently, and he's gone anyway.
Well,
he's gone now. What the heck was that? That's weird. Am I still here?
Yeah.
That is weird. Hold on. There you go.
What the hell?
I don't know. He probably clicked the button. All I can do about it.
Well, now we're going to see if we can figure out how to get back on.
You know what this means, though? The readings are going to be fun. Well, for you. Well, you should be able to get on, though. Discord, people have no problem because Discord's still the same. You can
I have no problem. I just created the code and I clicked on. Like I said, as long as I don't have to do that every time. Not that that's like
not that I'm aware of, because I entered the passcode in like about earlier probably in the month ago or two. Because that was the one day I was complaining about how you guys put notifications, and I realized that Jay had sent me a message through the new beta testing. I was like, little notification on my phone. Go away. Yeah, there he is. What did you do? Click the wrong button?
I realized that I was on YouTube at the same time, so I think I hit the YouTube thing, and it may have just gone off.
All right. My X chat has not changed. Well, Marani, it used to be called messages. That's not chat. It has changed. I'm getting sick of this.
Jeff.
Bye, Jeff. Really?
My guess is it's kicking him off.
Might be. I don't know. Yeah. Your browser will change. If you said will change, everything is updated. Browser and mobile has changed for Twitch. Everything's changed. There's no YouTube previews. When you put a YouTube link in, it just shows the link and that's it. So you have no idea what the heck that person's sharing unless there's a screenshot attached to it. All right. Last time I'll let you back in, man. What's going on?
It's not me, man. It's not me.
Well, no one else has had this problem.
Okay.
Don't touch anything. Just show the book.
I have Armageddon, Vampire Armageddon.
Yep.
I'm halfway through that one. I think it's pretty good. I'm hearing an echo. Batman and Robin number 27. Richard Tracy.
Mm-hmm. Why would you get that book?
What?
Batman Hush.
Because I want to finish the run. I want to finish the run.
You want to finish having the runs? It's Batman versus the Bat Family in that book. That's all it is. Out of curiosity, it's an excuse to have Batman get his ass kicked by the Bat Family. And then at the last minute, maybe he's doing it to actually help us. Yeah, it is garbage. But then again, I will say it, I do like the fact it's pissing off a lot of people on League of Comic Geeks, so it has merit.
Yep. Yeah, I just, it's annoying me, but what am I going to do? Haven't read this one yet. Are you guys hearing an echo?
No.
Okay, Peter Cannon.
Not me.
This is really good.
The art was sucked on it, though. Art was atrocious.
Is he straight?
So far.
I've always been straight. What are you talking about?
So far.
So far. I'll be straight when I die. I'll make sure I stay straight as I'm dead.
And this one is pretty good.
You're still all in on that.
Yeah.
I dropped again after the story concluded.
Trade paperback is pretty good. And I just thought this looked pretty good. It's a Joe Hill book. Now for my back issues, which are I had a couple of them from the last batch that I showed you that I hadn't finished reading yet. So a couple of them are still going to be in it. Most of them are new. So 560. $567, which is written by Harlan Ellison, which I'm really looking forward to reading. $568.
Cool.
This is, I think this is one of the ones that I showed the last time, but it's 573. $77. $81. It looks like it's Two-Face taking on Two-Face. This is 84. 93. 601. And this has look who's in it right there. It's 603. It has the demon in it. 607.
Nice clay face.
10. 12. 13.
You trying to fill the whole entire run, or
Yep.
just getting certain
Yep.
issues?
14. Yeah, just the run. 16. 17. 18. I think I've read this one in one of the. This was in one of the trades, but I think I've got it. 56. 82. Then I think I got this last week. And then here are the ones that I've read from this. 538. 39.
For those who are watching at home, just pause to see the cover.
44.
There you go. I know your arms get tired. I'm like, I don't want to hold it.
48.
If you hold it with two hands, it's not too heavy, Jeff. You should know that.
How would he know that?
Well, he works on the bridge Lincoln, doesn't he?
And I'm guessing his arm doesn't get tired by doing an up and down motion.
Oh, he was just holding dick pretty far there. You know, problems.
My arms are tired. We're two people short today, and I've been lifting a bunch of brakes and rotors and everything all day.
I learned today that there's such thing as sugar-free orange juice. I had no idea.
Why?
I went to go drink. I was after Tropicana. I'm like, oh, this orange juice tastes very orangey. Then I realized there's no sugar in it. I was like, I'm thinking like, is there sugar in orange juice drinks cartons? I've never noticed or wanted to ask that question. And I was just like, ugh. So guys, from now on, I have to, when I grab orange juice, I have to make sure it actually has freaking sugar in it or something, because it was very it almost tastes like grapefruit because you took orange juice without the sugar. It was just, ugh. That's it, Jeff? You're muted.
Yes, it is.
Okay. All right.
Sorry, I'm hearing.
Might be time to get some headphones. Or if you're hearing echoes, it could just be that you have empty house.
No, it's my. The only way that I can do it is I can keep the YouTube thing on too, and turn that off. I kept getting booted off.
Do you want me to do my books for the week?
Do you have anything?
It'll be fixed next week.
I'll do my books for the week.
Oh, you actually have something.
Yeah.
Wow, I was going to say, here's my books. Nothing.
Richard Prather, Lie Down Killer. 1952. This is not a Shel Scott book. That's his main character.
Creator of the famous.
I just started it. A few minutes before we took to the air. I found on eBay yesterday. I haven't bought. I bought very little for the last couple months because I said money is tighter in Brooke Shields jeans. But I found 11 Shel Scott books for $27 and 5. It's like where it was comes like a little under 35 for 11 books, and I need 8 of them, so it's still under $5 a book. So I think I'm going to order those.
Speaking of jeans, did you see that Amy Schumer lost all that weight?
I know she lost a bunch of weight, and
It was Ozempic.
No,
She still has a fat face though.
Looks like I got it fixed. I was clicking off the wrong one, so I'm able to fix. I've got it fixed now.
but yeah, so that's it. You can put yourself back on the screen.
I was looking at the Archie book and I was wondering what that's Storm book is.
This is the that's the
action figure. Oh,
well, action figure. It's usually up there, and this was that PT Captain Storm I showed a couple weeks ago.
Oh yeah, okay. I was like, what? I'm trying to read what it says. Like it says Sea Storm.
PT book. That's the same thing that Kennedy was in charge of.
Yeah.
Actually, no, that was John Kerry was on one of those too. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but there's a difference between Kennedy and Kerry.
Yeah, Kerry decided to just lie and say he was, but actually he wasn't really in charge of anything.
And the medals that Kerry threw over things were somebody else's and not his.
Probably, but
and Kennedy was able to score some good-looking chicks like Monroe, and you've seen the people that Kerry was with.
Yeah, but all right though. But I think that we're gonna wrap it up here unless we have any other topics to talk about. Zach's too cool for school, to show up.
I watched 2 really cool movies today.
Oh, which one's that?
Advise and Consent. It's that Otto Preminger movie from 1962 about the plot. The main plot is the Senate confirmation hearing for a new Secretary of State and all the political machinations that go with it. But if you're an old time movie fan, Walter Pidgeon, Franchot Tone, Charles Lawton. It's so old. Betty White is the young senator. So it says 1962, and she was the only woman in the Senate. But and then there's a bunch of other people you'd recognize from. Yes, I Jean Tierney's in it. She was, if you knew her, she was. I'm not mistaken. She was Laura, and then she did a movie called Leave Her to Heaven, where she is really, really a rotten person. But and then I watched you ever seen Fail Safe?
Is that with Mel Gibson?
What's that?
Is that with Mel Gibson?
Is that a newer or is it
this is 64.
Oh.
And Henry Fonda is the secretary, the nominee. In Fail Safe, he plays the president, and a technical malfunction sends a bunch of bombers to Moscow to bomb Moscow, and by the time they can't stop them because they have, after all the fail safes are done, they have orders not to stop for anything because the president tries to stop him, they ignore him. The guy's wife comes on to tell him it's that there's no war to turn around. He blows her off, and they end up bombing Moscow. And to make up for it, the president agrees to bomb New York.
Wow.
I think I've heard of that before.
Yeah, it's all dialogue and tension, and it's a really, really good movie. Again, so the president's translator, so he can talk to the Russians, is Larry Hagman. And Walter Matthau plays a pro-war professor, and it's very, very well done. Sidney Lumet directed that. He's Lumet.
Yeah.
Did Larry Hagman get shot in that one?
What's that?
Did Larry Hagman get shot in that one?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I actually talked to we're deciding what we're gonna do for Sunday, and we might be looking at doing Laura.
Really?
Yeah.
That's also an Otto Preminger movie. So I may
watch
that one.
Well, the reason I suggested that Rob because that's considered one of, if not the best noir film. On the list. Yeah.
I think Vincent Price is in that too.
So I figured I'll give it a shot. And I don't know if I'll like it or not, but hey, I want to give it a shot at least. Check it out.
I'm going to say you will like it.
It's weird. I read something. I heard something on YouTube that even though Vincent Price is really well known for horror movies, he was in a lot more stuff, and he was in more non-horror movies than he was horror movies.
Probably not when it was all said and done, but he used to make really highbrow movies. He was in a bunch of movies with Betty Davis. They were like great friends.
Yeah, like their eyes. That's why.
Gene Tierney, Dana Andrews are the two main characters. Clifton Webb, Vincent Price. Yeah, that's basically they're the four main characters. So they're the most. So
what movie is it? Do you know offhand what movie that is, or the Home Alone they show? Keep the Change, a Filthy Animal. Is that from an actual movie? Is that Angels with Dirty Eyes?
It may be Angels with Dirty Faces.
Dirty Faces, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think I'm trying to remember because I remember it was actually I'm reading up on it and it said it was from a film. I just can't remember which one it was.
It probably could was Dead End Kids movies.
Yeah, that's another thing I told Rob is I want to go back and look at some of the Dead End movies. Dead End Kids.
Oh, I'm not a big fan of those. Other than Bogart's in some of them, but a bunch of obnoxious kids.
Yeah,
obnoxious kids. Isn't that redundant?
I stayed up last night to watch Citizen Kane again.
Oh, that's Cagney. I'm thinking Angel Dirty Faces. I don't think it might have been a different one. I know Bogart's in it, and Bogart plays a gangster.
Well, yeah, Bogart was in some of those. He and Cagney were in a couple movies together before Bogart became a big star. Because his big break, where he kind of got away from being stereotyped as a gangster, was I believe it was a movie called Dark Victory with Betty Davis, where he plays a doctor. And then after that, within a year or two, he got the Maltese Falcon, then Casablanca, and then, the rest is, as they say, is history.
I've never seen Casablanca.
Really?
Yeah. I should get. There's a lot of classic movies that I haven't seen that I should get my card yanked for.
Angels with Filthy Souls.
It's okay. Sometimes when something achieves an almost mythical status like Casablanca has,
so
they're overrated. Casablanca is not overrated.
So that movie or that line, it was about they created a movie called Angels with Filthy Souls, but it was supposed to be based off a spoof of Angel Dirty Faces. That's where that line comes from. It was made up for a movie based off of that.
No.
Kind of sucks because I was like, if they actually based off a real movie, I wouldn't really want to see that. But Angel with Dirty Faces is a really good movie. Sad ending,
Jeff, the other movie I watched yesterday, I bet you have seen. Animal House.
Oh! Hey! Did we give up when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor?
Was it over?
Hell no!
Pearl Harbor. Germans? Forget it, he's rolling.
We're just
You know what I forgot because I haven't seen this movie in forever. The dorky guy with the glasses that has the one line in the movie. What the hell are we supposed to do, you moron?
He went to Harvard. He was one of the founders of the magazine.
So he went. Okay, that makes sense. He wasn't an actor just sitting there for that scene. But where I watched it, I was wondering. I said, "Are they going to censor the angel devil scene?" They did not. Because I just type it in and watch, and I'm too lazy to. I had to use my DVD player today. I was not happy because I found a version. Every version of Advise and Consent had it was one of those director's cuts where some professor was talking over it. But I found one version that wasn't last night, but it was gone this morning. So I had to find my DVD, or I had to get my DVD, and I had to spin the battery on my remote to get to work.
Yeah, I'm looking at the movies. I'm looking at.
Do you know where the movie was shot? I think it was Eugene, Oregon. Because so many places just said, we're not going to let you shoot that movie. And then the people that university that let them shoot at it didn't read the script before they said yes, and they shot it.
So the other one I want to watch, because there's Veronica Lake in it, is The Blue Dahlia.
Great movie. Can you switch us? Thank you.
You're welcome.
But I love Alan Ladd. He made, I think, 3 movies with Veronica Lake, all worth watching.
Yeah.
I can't remember if she was in The Glass Key, but Alan Ladd made some really good noir movies. Even though they don't get the. I guess maybe they're not considered noir because he actually wins at the end of his. So
yeah,
I don't know what you would call those, but
there's noir action movies. That's according to Google. That's a new genre.
But yeah, definitely worth a watch.
I think noir and action are sort of separate genres, though. I mean, that's kind of
William Bendix was usually a lot of times you'd find him in those same movies as a heavy.
Double Indemnity. What's it called?
Double Indemnity.
Yeah,
that's also, depending on who you ask, a lot of people consider that the greatest noir movie ever.
There's also Lady from Shanghai.
That was the movie that Orson Welles made after he married Rita Hayworth when he caused a scandal by cutting off her hair.
Wow, that is, yeah. Here's a cut.
Yeah,
it's like Madonna short.
Right, yeah, because if you look at her from Gilda, the famous scene where she flips her hair and goes, "Who, me?"
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden she's got a blonde boy's haircut.
Yeah.
Great movie. That the mirror scene at the end is like an all-time classic scene.
Wow. It's on Tubi right now. A lot of these older movies are on. Touch of Evil is another one. I heard that's pretty good.
Oh, Touch of Evil that's my number 3 movie of all time.
Nice.
Absolutely great. There's documentaries on it.
Janet Leigh. Wow.
The story behind that was they were going to make the movie, and Charlton Heston picked a star. They got Orson Welles to play the Quinlan character, but they hadn't found a director. And Heston said, "Well, why don't you have Orson Welles direct it?" I said, "He's a pretty good director." And they said they approached him. He goes, "Will you direct this? We can't pay you anymore, but," he goes,
"Wow,
I'll do it if you let me rewrite the script." And he rewrote every word of it.
Because there is we might do 2 reviews, one offline, one online. Because Pixel's not going to be around for Extreme on Sunday, so Touch of Evil. Would you want to join us for this if we review that?
If you do that, I think I would. Yeah.
I'm not going to ask you to join both.
No, I'd actually be all right with either one or both. But
no, because we do both movies on Sunday. We have one recorded offline and one. Yeah, because one air later on.
I was going to say.
Holy crap! You're alive. What a Glinzer.
I would probably have to watch Touch of Evil again, even though I watched it last week.
Yeah,
because it's a complicated movie, but it's so good. I said, Orson Welles was a genius. There's no getting around that.
Yeah. Well, see here, 1958. Yeah. See, guys, when I look at Google, it doesn't even list Charlton Heston at first in the cast. It gives
he's the main star.
Yeah, If you look at the actual cover, then it shows him. But if you look at their cast, it shows Orson Welles, Janet Leigh, Marlene Dietrich.
Now, do you know who Marlene Dietrich is?
No, I don't.
She was a major star in the 30s and 40s.
But Janet Leigh, isn't she also from another one we watched?
Well, yeah, she's the girl in Holiday Affair.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah,
she was also,
she's the girl in the shower in Psycho. So it's,
yeah.
Oh,
Jamie Lee Curtis's mother.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and she and she's great in this. She's a very good actress. But it also has, Joseph Cotton, who was Orson Welles' best friend, I'm assuming in real life.
Do love the camera angles, though.
Oh God, what was that? Dennis Weaver is in it. He plays a kind of like half retarded guy that works at the hotel where they kidnap Janet Leigh and stash her in.
Who's the fat guy in the movie? He's like it's like a gangster.
Well, that's Orson Welles.
Is that Orson Welles? Wow.
Yeah. And you look at him. He was. Look at the face in that picture.
He looks like Kingpin.
He was 43 years old.
Wow. Yeah.
Because
he literally looks like Kingpin.
He made a movie the same year called The Long Hot Summer.
Yeah.
With Paul Newman. And again, like I said, his character was 61 and very believable because he was playing the father of Paul Newman's wife and Joanne Woodward and Aunt Tony Franciosa. But much nicer character in this movie. He was a benevolent town owner. Another movie I recommend. It's a very good watch.
Wow, that's just crazy though. I'm just looking at the different things here, scenes in that movie, and
Hey, you know what else I just finally got done watching like earlier last week? The original Fly.
You told us about that last week, I think.
Oh, okay.
Must have hadn't finished it yet.
Help me.
Yeah, I would like to do Touch of Evil just to. Like I said, it's I will go to bat for that movie all day long.
Look at this. Look at this thing.
43 years old.
That's
really?
That's still right there. Looking up at the guy who's strangled by his tie. That right there makes me want to watch this movie.
Well, there's a head of hair under that, but I mean, he's
no.
That is just crazy, though. Yeah, I said that's alone.
Towards the end, where he goes into Marlene Dietrich's place. He goes, she's a fortune teller. She goes, "What's my future?" And she goes,
"Yeah,
you don't have a future. Your future's all used up." And he's dead like 10 minutes later.
Miranda, Blazing Saddles is either one or two of the funniest movies ever done, in my opinion.
Is she the one where she's like, "Oh, it is really true," when she's grabbing his arm, like that's my arm. That one is that Marlene Dietrich, where she's with I forgot what his name is in the movie. The guy was the black guy. I forget his name is, but she grabs his arm and he thinks he's grabbing his. But he's like, "Hey, it's my arm." Is that supposed to be Marlene?
I'm not familiar.
It's been a while since I watched it.
The only thing about my arm is
or Madeline Klein, yeah,
Madeline Kahn, and she's in Blazing Saddles, and you hear her say, "Is it true what they say about you people?" And he hears "zip," and she goes, "Oh, it's true, it's true." And the line that was cut out of the movie was, "Lady, that's my arm." And so that could be what you're talking about.
I remember Marlene Dietrich most from Death Tree Rides Again. That's a Jimmy Stewart Western.
Woo! Make a dream.
But she was, like I said, she was in, oh God, was it Foreign Correspondent? She was in a couple of the Hitchcock movies. She was the star of Stage Fright.
Okay.
But she was, like I said, I really liked her. She was unique.
Yeah, Glizner. I saw the remake with my father in the theater. There's a double feature with the Final Countdown. So I'd seen the remake years before I saw the original.
Man, every time you get a chance to bring up the Final Countdown, that's like a go-to movie.
Dude, I saw that.
I saw it 3 times a year on the ship. They kept playing the movie.
God, I saw that movie so many fucking times.
Yeah, Stage Fright. That's the one. She was the main character in that. Yeah, you know what I learned last night, didn't it? When I was watching I was getting ready to watch Advised Consent. I was curious to see what else he had directed, because he directed The Man with the Golden Arm, which was a movie where Frank Sinatra gets hooked on heroin. But
who hasn't?
He directed a bunch of those noir movies in the 40s, other than Laura. So he has a great resume.
I guess there's noir films in the 50s too.
And he was also one of the Mr. Freezes on the Batman 66 show. He did a little acting also.
I forgot that Frank Gorshin, I think now I might be wrong on this, but I was under understanding that he was actually the voice actor for Edward Nygma in the actual animated series. Like they were bringing back some of those guys from the TV show 66, and like these well established, like these older, like respected actors, and they're taking the roles.
They actually had what's his name, Batman 66. He was on the last year of the Super Friends as Batman.
Well, yeah, Frank Gorshin, his actual career, he was Rich Little before there was a Rich Little.
Okay.
He was also in Star Trek. He was the half black, half white guy in the original series.
Never seen In Harm's Way. Then again, I said my favorite director. I haven't seen his war movie, and that's Stalag 17. But I will get to it, Maranya. I promise.
Looking up a lot of the actors from that show were just like Batman animated series was I think one of the reasons partially why it was done so well is not because of stories too, but because a lot of the actors in here. Let me look at the actual shows. The shows like the full cast here. Efren Zimbalist Jr. Zimbalist playing Alfred. Yeah, and then you had Bob Hastings as Commissioner Gordon.
Did you ever see the show Remington Steele?
No, but I'm sure if I talk to Angleton, he can tell me the whole entire thing.
Well, his daughter is the leading lady in that. Stephanie.
And didn't he make a couple of guest shots in there?
Yes.
You had Selena Kyle, voiced by Adrian Barbeau. John Vernon as Rupert Thorne.
You know what he's best known for, don't you?
No, I don't.
He's Dean Wormer in Animal House. One of the most famous lines ever. Fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life, son.
I gotta meet Otto. I mean the Flounder.
I didn't realize he died.
Yes, this was obviously before he died, but yes, I did.
No kidding.
Yeah, it would have been a little bit more difficult after he died, but
True that.
I probably would have gotten arrested. But.
Diana Pershing, she's still doing acting. She's the voice for Pamela, or basically Poison Ivy in the original series. She was also in Defenders of the Earth. She was Dinah X or Dale Arden voice.
You also have some psycho who did the Joker, who's just as mentally
Pearl Pure Heart voice in Mighty Mouse. So I said, trying to look at the Scarface was George Dzanja. Jeff Bennett as Hardak. Said you had Frank Welker was doing a bunch of voices on there too. You had Edward Asner as Ronald Daggett, for the Clayface thing.
Yeah.
Ron Perlman as Clayface. Jim Cummings was in there too. A lot of voices. John Glover was the Riddler. Yes, apparently. I forgot about that. He was the Riddler in the series for 3 episodes. Wow. Mr. Freeze, Michael Anzara. Wow. Tim Curry was in there too. A lot of voices. Yeah, the whole list goes on. You just look at everything and just. And here's the thing: some of these older actors in here, you could just click on anything on there, and you probably Treat Williams was in there too. Wow, he did a voice. But yeah, that's why I don't recognize a lot of the actors. But if I guarantee if I click on their name, I'll find like Danny Goldman. He's probably in something that I've probably seen in the past.
Yeah, Henry brings up that John Vernon was the mayor in Dirty Harry. He was also in the Lee Marvin movie. I was Point Blank or something like that.
Yeah,
Mel Gibson ended up remaking. But if you watch 70s detective shows, I promise you John Vernon was in every one of them at least once.
So Danny Goldman, I bring it up. He was Captain Murderheart in the MASH movie. He was also in Young Frankenstein, one of the medical students' background. He was a Brainy Smurf on the Smurfs. He's he's also he was a director for the an episode of Sabrina Teenage Witch. But yeah, like I said, I love about the IMDb a lot. And the cast that a lot of people are brought in here, you can click on anybody, and like I said a lot of people are. It's like the 6 degrees of second Kevin Bacon. It's like it's no matter who you click on, eventually at least lead on the circle. They're all together again. But Iron Man from the 60s. Yeah, you don't remember 60s Iron Man? What's wrong with that?
It's the cartoon. Remember Iron Man, Submariner, Thor.
Yeah,
Cap.
Tony Stark drives his car.
Yeah, I guess maybe he was the voice of that. Maybe.
Wow, Michael Gross was in a voice in the in Batman series. Henry Silva was the voice of Bane. Malcolm McDowell was in there too. Heather Locklear. Wow. Yeah, just if you're ever on IMDb, just go through like the full cast of that whole cartoon series, and there's just so many. Joe Piscopo was in there too.
God, Joe Piscopo was on Fox Weekend or something like that this past weekend.
Yeah,
he has had more Botox than any woman I've ever seen.
Right? Yeah, I believe it. Alan Oppenheimer was in here, did a voice.
Yeah. Lee Marvin, great villain. You don't have to specify the movie because he was always great. But if you want to see him totally out of character, Raintree County, Montgomery Clifton, Elizabeth Taylor is one of those sweeping, epic 3-hour movies. He's just one of the guys courting Elizabeth Taylor, and it just does not look right in that role.
Do you remember Tom Willis from the Jeffersons?
Yeah.
Franklin Culver did a voice in one of the episodes of the Batman series. So you're just getting a bunch of. I said a lot of these are just. Peter Strauss was in there too. B.J. Ward, Alan Young. Oh, even Josh Keaton had a voice in there too. Yeah. I said the Batman series was really done so well, and like I said, it justly so. The Batman series is the best, I think, adapted comic book character on in an animated form. But
I said Dead Heat. That was a great movie.
What's like? You said what?
I said I saw Dead Heat when it came out. It was a good movie.
Oh, Judd Heat. Yeah, I watched that. Poor Treat Williams.
Best Joe Piscopo movie, Johnny Dangerously. You shouldn't hang me on a hook, Johnny.
Should have done this, Johnny. Should have done that, Johnny. Fun. That's a hilarious movie.
I saw Dead Heat once.
I'm guessing they probably don't get along that well in real life either. Because Michael Keaton's a big time lefty, and Piscopo's a big time righty.
Yep. Yeah. Alan Humphrey was famous for his on-screen role in the 1970 show. What show and what character? Wasn't he in He-Man as Skeletor? Cartoon show. I thought he was in that. I don't know about live action. I thought he did the voice of Skeletor. I know he's a voice actor. I don't know. I don't know live action, Marania. I'm not as old as you. I wouldn't know. I wasn't watching stuff in the 70s. So unless it's popular today, amongst the everything else,
That's
I would know.
Might be true in your case, but I mean, look at me. I mean, 9 of my top 10 movies are older than me.
That was before film.
It's not like you can go.
How many of the kids in those movies are alive?
Well, we lost another one. June Lockhart checked out at 100 last week.
Wow.
No, Nancy Pelosi was the physical model for Skeletor's face.
So I'm down to the little girl from Meet Me in St. Louis.
Okay.
Meet Me in St. Louis.
She's in her 80s.
I think the brat from Holiday Affair is still alive.
Go there, the boy.
Wow. And
Died.
the main character in Bell Book and Candle. What was her name? What was Kim Novak's name in the movie?
Oh,
I've seen that 6 times, and I still forget the names. She's still alive. That might be it.
Bell Book and Candle. Let's see here.
I'm gonna say something. Kittredge.
Eartha Kittredge.
Elsa There's Janice Rule. There is Elsa Lanchester.
No, Kim Novak is the one still alive. She was the main character.
Gillian Gill. She was Gillian Gill.
Gillian Gill. Holroyd. Yeah.
Holroyd. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And Jack Lemmon plays her brother in it.
Yep.
Elsa Lanchester. I watched I found an interview she did with Dick Cavett. Yeah,
That's is that a Bell Book and Candle? Is that a Christmas movie then?
It's not, but it's
like a Wonderful Life, kind of like in a sense.
Yeah, it's in the holiday season, so
because that's on my list for this season on Extreme Movie Show to review it.
As I told you, I've seen that movie 6 times, and my DVD is still sealed. Turner Classic runs it 2 or 3 times a year, and back when I could record, I just popped one into my queue. Now I'll just type it in on my app. But
well, the other one, and I was talking to Rob. I was like, maybe we should do the Lemon Drop Kid.
I watched that once. I'm not going to watch it again.
I want because I know. Yeah, you didn't like it. I thought Engeltine said he loved it. That was good.
I didn't dislike it, but I have about 12 or 13 movies because I added White Christmas this past year, and I'll Be Seeing You with Ginger Rogers and Joseph Cotton. So that brings me up to about, like I said, 13 or 14.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm looking at more Christmas movie, Extreme Movie Show. If you guys haven't subscribed over there, please do that. We do like having viewers over here. I like having viewers here, but like if you guys like older movies we're talking about, we do go live over there on Sundays at 7 p.m. Eastern.
Yep. When you do that, you get picked up. Hi, everybody.
Hold on. Pull that cat back up there.
Oh, she doesn't like being held.
Who cares?
But you know what? You chew on the wire, that's your punishment. Camera time.
Man, that's
I could I'm thinking about making a joke right now, but it'd probably be, it'd be filthy, but it'd be funny. But
It'd be in
never
poor
mind.
taste and not funny. So
Huh?
that's not stopped you before.
I know he shows up.
True.
Now you want to get back down there and chew that wire again, don't you? Yep.
Go for the comic book. No.
Now if I sit back on the couch, she'll climb up on me.
That's crazy. I never had a cat like that. Mine's were always like solid colors. It just like that cat's got camo paint on.
Yeah, it's calico, so I guess that's what they are. But
it was camo.
Well, Jackson, it's weird. I don't think I actually accidentally chewed through the part of the wire that she did. And yeah, I said I should just like
and I'm out.
do it. And I don't think she does it when I'm not around. I think she knows that way she can get attention.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
Now she's on the floor. Goes from having a nice comfortable. No, away from the wire. Nice comfortable couch to lay on. She's laying on a couple of issues of Justice Machine and.
Just point the camera at the cat from now on. We'll just have the cat on the camera. Breen's in there somewhere. We hear him on the microphone, but we just see a cat just playing with the wire.
Yeah, nobody.
That's how you boost views.
Given a choice, no one would be watching me. So that's.
Oh, that's not true. You're a handsome young man. Everyone just hangs up every word, especially when you have the cigarette in your mouth that's hanging there while you're talking.
None of which is true.
You can't prove that it's not true.
You can prove that the young man part is not true.
Well, you just drove Henry off. He says, "Take care, all. I'm done."
Well, Henry took one look and said, well, "You know what? I'm as young as I feel all of a sudden." And said,
"What's up, the Meyer?"
He's going to go run around the block a few times.
Justice Machine, good comics.
Yeah, they are.
Nice. It's
thank God that she does not smell. The only time she smells is like right after she's done her business, and she smells like the litter box for a minute, which is preferable to what she did in there. So
she's a long hair cat too, right?
Yeah.
So do you ever have her any pick stuff up? Stuff on the side of her because she lays down or whatever. You don't have any travelers with her, any pieces that are stuck to her fur?
No.
My freaking long hair cat. He's like, I'm gonna jump by me. I'm like, dude, no, look, it's attached to you. Get away. Go back and go. It's like, leave it there. Don't bring it with you, little dustball collector. Oppenheimer's role at the show for 9 episodes. All right, I'm just going to play trivia. We went from MK asking questions to Maranya asking questions.
Oh, I'm about ready to call it so I can watch Laura.
All righty. Sounds good to me.
And I've got
to watch
stuff in the laundry, and after we get work in the morning,
I gotta watch. I got 2 weeks of Dynamite. I gotta watch last week's and Blood and Guts this week.
Oh, Blood and Guts was insane.
I saw clips. I was like, oh, Twitter, no, scroll.
It was rather explosive from what I hear.
Well, put it this way, there were some idiots begging Jim Cornette to cancel AEW like that's something he can do.
Look at all the blood. What kid was family friendly? Yeah. Yeah. So, all right, guys. We're going to end it here. We'll be back tomorrow night around 8 p.m. Eastern for a reading or two. We'll see what happens. But thank you for showing up. Shivers Laura was the name of my worst girlfriend. The best and the worst. That's a very complicated answer.
Well, crazy, that make it the worst, but then there's a best thing with the crazy women. So, yeah, I can understand.
Well, it might not be what you're thinking of because you.
No, but I'm always going to go for the lowest common denominator.
You are the lowest common denominator. Anyway,
Right.
we're gonna end it here. So if you guys haven't done so, please subscribe, click like, do all that fun stuff. We'll be back tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern, and have a good night, guys.
Did you say we don't have Pixel tomorrow?
I don't know if we do. I think we do. I know he's not going to be extreme on Sunday, but I think he is here this weekend. I think I have to double check.
If he's going to be here tomorrow, then I don't know. But if he's not, I'd say World's Finest.
So he's not around for extreme, so I'll have to ask him. So World's Finest, and if he is here, I don't. What do you think?
Something pixel centric.
Oh man, what is wrong with you? All right, good night, guys.
Good night, kids.
Onward to Comics Division. He's still around? Oh, I'm just kidding. All right, later, guys. Spider-Man. Yeah, we could do. Yeah. With 7 people, though, might be a little hard, though.